is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
Spring training continues from Jupiter, Florida. At Roger Dean Stadium, the Cardinals turn their attention to ace right-hander Adam Wainwright. Nationals, Cardinals, next.
Spring Training 2013 from Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter, Florida. Today it's Game 2 of 10 telecasts this spring on Fox Sports Midwest, a rematch of the playoffs from a year ago. The Washington Nationals and the St. Louis Cardinals. And with my partner, Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. Yesterday, in many ways, a glimpse at the future, the great young pitching that the Cardinals have. Well, today it's a different story because we got a guy on the mound that we know quite well. That's Adam Wainwright.
And we hope Adam will be around for a long time. All he has to do is pitch like he did his last time out. He found a little mechanical flaw, he perfected it, and had great results.
Well, one of the guys that has had great results this spring, really overlooked in many ways, a backup outfielder, Shane Robinson. Look at this spring. It's our keys to the game.
Well, just an outstanding spring. He got a base hit yesterday to put his average over 500. He's a triple crown winner of the Cardinals, and he's just having a tremendous spring at the right time.
Shane Robinson is in the lineup today. He'll play right field for Mike Matheny's club. Remember, John Mabry has been bumped up. Now he is the hitting coach for the St. Louis Cardinals. Mabry, Matheny, the Cardinals have their lineup set to go. Many of the A guys are in there. Daniel Descalso will play second base. The Nationals, the Cardinals. Starting lineups, first pitch, next.
Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. And by Bud Light Platinum, triple filter, smooth finish, top shelf taste. This is game number 2 of 10, a spring training telecast. Here from Jupiter, Florida, and Roger Dean Stadium, along with the Matt Hungarian, Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Hey, glad you're with us. It's a beautiful afternoon for baseball here in Jupiter. A little breezy, cool, but sun shining brightly. And Adam Wainwright getting the start for St. Louis. This will be his 4th start of the spring. He's 2-1, 10 strikeouts in 10 innings of work.
He had 6 of those strikeouts in his last time in 4 2/3 innings. We talked a little bit about the mechanical flaw he detected with the help of the fan.
This is switch hitter Steve Lombardozzi, the second baseman, who also can play the outfield for Washington. And we'll get into that technical flaw in just a moment. Lombardozzi, Suzuki, and more here in the first inning for Davey Johnson. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Not many household names in the lineup for the Nationals today. Many of their minor leaguers are here.
Lombardozzi, a rookie last season, competing for that second base job. He and Espinosa, both of them are switch hitters, good defensively. Espinosa has more power if he hit 17 home runs a year ago.
The 1-2 is chopped to the right side and foul.
But he had about 190 strikeouts. So Lombardozzi is very much in the mix at second base or a utility position.
You remember his dad? Dad
Yep.
Played briefly in the big leagues. 1-2, a check swing. They appeal, and he did not go. Evens up at 2-2.
Scary part about his dad is he was playing, I think, after I retired, and now his son's playing. So I got to go to the guys like Davey Johnson, who I played against.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Chop to the right side again. Davey Johnson says that this will be his final season as a manager, and then he'll be a consultant for Mike Rizzo, the general manager of the Washington Nationals. Last year at this time, he said playoffs or bust. This time, this year, he's saying World Series or bust. It's popped into right field. Shane Robinson, we talked about his great spring, puts it away. He's your right fielder today for St. Louis. And a look at the lineup, many minor leaguers for the Washington Nationals today. Steve Lombardozzi, the switch hitter for Davey Johnson at the top of his order. Then Kurt Suzuki, Tyler Moore. The DH is Chad Tracy. Chris Marrero is your first baseman. Carlos Rivero at third. Corey Brown, then Micah Owings, and Zach Walters. That's brought to you by Fairmount Park. Kurt Suzuki, the catcher today, hitting .278 this spring. And he looks at a strike. He'll be battling for time with Wilson Ramos, who is an outstanding player, both catching defensively and what he brings to the plate. So they've got 2 starters really battling for that spot in the lineup as their everyday catcher.
And Suzuki was brought on board as a free agent. They had 2 free agent acquisitions, and they're the battery for the Nationals today. Danny Herron, former number 2 pick of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Part of the ill-fated Mark Mulder deal. I think you could say that now with what Danny Herron has done in his career. Suzuki waves at it. First strikeout for Adam Wainwright. And quickly, there's 2 down. So 2 outs, nobody on. Here's a look at the defense behind Adam today with Chambers in left, John Jay in center, Shane Robinson in right. Carpenter gets a start at third. He was at second yesterday. It's Cosma at short, Descalso at second. Matt Adams over at first. He had the game-winning hit and RBI yesterday. And Rob Johnson is behind the plate. That's a look at your Cardinals defense. And a fastball and a strike to Tyler Moore, right fielder. That's hitting .256. And a high fly ball. Wind is blowing towards right field. That'll tail into right center. John Jay is there. So good start for Adam Wainwright, his 4th start this spring. Mixes in a strikeout for out number 2. Cardinals coming up. Bottom of the first rolls in here in Jupiter, Florida. Roger Dean Stadium opened up back in 1998. Home to the Cardinals. There's Derek Lilliquist, and now you see Mike Matheny. His lineup brought to you by Fairmount Park, and John Jay, celebrating a birthday, will lead things off against Danny Herron. Saw Danny Herron spend 2 seasons with the Cardinals, split time between the minor leagues and the big leagues. As I mentioned before, was part of the Mark Mulder deal. And at that time, Al, we thought that Mulder was the guy to put the Cardinals over the top after 2004. He pitched when he was hurt. Herron went on to some great seasons, Arizona, Oakland. And this spring, he is 0-2 as he signed an off-season deal, 1 year with Washington.
Yeah, 1 year with Washington because he had a bad hip. His velocity was really decreased. It used to be a 93 to 95 velocity, and then last year was 88, 80 to 90 maybe. And he says he feels a lot better now. Still has the good split finger pitch, but you have to, in order for that to be effective, you have to have the higher velocity.
A 3-2 to John Jay. Just got a piece of it. John off to a slow start here in spring. He's had 206, no home runs. He's driven in 1. But now with a little bit of a track record for John Jay, last 3 years in the big leagues, his average has been an even 300. And he hits it out to deep right field. Moore is back. He'll look up, and on his birthday, John Jay gives himself and the Cardinals a present. A solo shot to start the game for St. Louis, and it's 1-0 Cardinals.
John's first home run of the spring. Sometimes you don't like to see leadoff guys hit home runs because then they start pulling for the fences. But on your birthday, you might as well give yourself a reward. There's an off-speed pitch. Instead of down below the knees, it's at the belt, and it was belted out.
Here's Daniel Descalso playing second base today. You can see that Herron a little frustrated with himself as he spun around, receiving the baseball back from Kurt Suzuki. 1-0 pitch to Descalso. Daniel has retooled his swing. He was talking to us beginning of spring training that he began to retool his swing in August of last year. Said he was lost at the plate, and that's one of the things he's trying to do. Shorten up, take the ball to left. And there's a base hit, and the first 2 have reached. Look at the defense for Washington today. Owings, former pitcher, playing left field. Then Brown in center. And Moore is in right. Rivero, Walters, Lombardozzi, Marrero along the infield. Kurt Suzuki is behind the plate. Danny Herron on the mound. A look at the Nationals defense. Well, Matt Carpenter was part of 2 double plays yesterday and turning them at second base. And Mike Matheny, after the game, was talking about Carpenter and just how comfortable he looks defensively. Also, wanting to make sure that Carpenter stays sharp at other positions, so he'll get a few starts at the corner outfield position of left and right, and today he's at third base. Ground ball right side, that's a base hit. Descalso makes the turn around second, on his way to third. 3 consecutive hits to start the game against Danny Herron.
Very effectively placed base hits by Descalso and Carpenter. And boy, they're having a nice little competition for second base. Yes, Carpenter's proven he can play second, but Descalso has proven that he can hit again. And so it's a nice situation for both of them, and the Cardinals will benefit greatly.
There's Ty Wigington, signed by the Cardinals in the offseason, serving as the designated hitter today, and only hitting .125 this spring. It's a multi-year deal, and he does have a track record. It's popped up. Shallow right center field. The second baseman will make the play, Lombardozzi, and that's out number 1.
Wigington really has struggled as a pinch hitter in his career. But I think the fact is now he knows that's the only role he'll have for the ball club. Yeah, he can play a couple different positions, spare guys, but he's going to be coming off the bench, and he'll just change his mindset and hopefully have better success.
Now it's Matt Adams. Tremendous spring. Game-winning hit yesterday. Broken bat double down the right field line as the Cardinals won the ball game over Atlanta 5-4. Now Matt is listed at 6'3", 260 pounds, and he has dropped around 25 pounds. Cardinals sent a chef to Pennsylvania to work with Matt and his family, and that's driven out to deep right. And this is gone. A 3-run homer for Matt Adams. Boy, is he making a case to make this club. 4-0 St. Louis. Adams, his third home run. His RBI total has now jumped up to 11 this spring.
We saw him last season at the big league level, and it looked at times he was overmatched. When he was sent down, they discovered that he did have complications with chips in his elbow. That was taken care of, and now you see the big man swinging the bat with authority once again. And I think he is playing himself right onto the roster.
He certainly made a great case for himself this far in spring, and so has Shane Robinson. As he looks at a strike, Shane is hitting .516 this spring. 16 for 31.
He's also leading the club in home runs and RBIs.
Robinson with a fly ball to Micah Owings. Makes the catch for out number 2. Let's go back to the home run. We've had 2 of them here in the first inning. Most recent off the bat of Matt Adams.
Well, Matt is not only just much more than just a slugger. Yes, he has awesome power, but he can hit for a relatively high average. And he's a little nimble around the bag. Runs better than you might think.
Cardinals have stressed to Adrian Chambers, put the ball on the ground, use your speed. He's been trying to do that this spring, dropping down a lot of bunts. Tried to do that yesterday. Bunted back to the pitcher. He's been around that 300 mark all spring.
Well, one of the reasons Cardinals went out and got Wigington, and a reason why that Adams makes a lot of sense for the bench, is when you had Robinson, you had Chambers, you know, you didn't have anybody that a pitcher would fear.
That gets away. They thought it was a foul ball. It's not on strike 3, so Chambers finds himself at first. And everything going the Cardinals' way here in the bottom of the first, and now time is called. They'll ask for help.
Suzuki is saying, I heard a tip, and C.B. Buckner, the home plate umpire, said, yes, it hit my shin guard. That's the noise you heard. So it's swinging at strike 3, but there he's. And I think it looked like it hit Suzuki's, or yeah, if anything, it looked like it hit Adron in the back foot.
Well, regardless, the Cardinals catch a break again. See the speed of Chambers here. Will they test Kurt Suzuki? Chambers really has tried to be as aggressive as he can to make an impression this spring. He was picked off over the weekend, but he's been running a lot. And here's Pete Kozma quietly putting together a solid spring. 368, couple of home runs, 7 RBIs. In the air again to center field. Corey Brown. Under it, makes the catch. Cardinals strand a runner, but they have a big first inning, highlighted by 2 home runs. John Jay got it going. His first of the spring on his birthday. Birds on top.
The Chevy
Engine number 42, the Hall of Famer Bruce Sutter in camp. It's Cal Eldred on the right, now working for the front office, and John Mozeliak, no longer with us at Fox Sports Midwest, made the announcement yesterday that Jim Edmonds will take his place on our telecast, pre- and post-game shows. But great to see the Hall of Famer Bruce Sutter here at spring training.
Bruce told me he pulled into camp yesterday about game time, and he'll be here for the next 5 days or so. And there's a welcome sight fixture here every year in spring training, the great Lou Brock.
Adam Wainwright back to work. It's Chad Tracy, Chris Marrero, and Carlos Rivero. Shift is on for Chad Tracy. 2 years ago, spent the season playing overseas in Japan, and last year made the club as a non-roster invitee on his 4th major league team. 2 balls and no strikes. Very efficient top of the first for Wainwright. Nationals went 1-2-3, mixed in a strikeout. Three and 0.
Pretty good pitch there that I think Adam will take most time during the regular season. Tracy's a lot of strikeouts in his career.
3 balls and 1 strike. And that's a ball. So leadoff walk to Chad Tracy. Speaking of Hall of Famers, Joe Namath throwing out the ceremonial first pitch, and that's John Schmidt, who was his center on their championship team. Joe Namath throwing out that first pitch to Daniel Descalso and having a little fun here at the ballpark.
It's a shame Jim Hayes isn't here. Maybe they could have gotten a kiss.
That is a foul ball by Joe Namath.
Yeah, you remember he interviewed that, or a female side reporter,
Susan Colbert.
And what was he kind of said? Boy, I'd love to kiss you.
Yes, he did.
And I think that would be fitting for Jim. The cat.
We'll see the cat on opening day.
Look forward to it.
Pat Paris, who is here with us in spring training, will visit with us in the 3rd. Little chopper towards second. Descalso throws to first, and Adams is on the bag, so they get the out. Runner advances. Tracy to second base. Not one of Joe Namath's
they're calling Tracy
moments.
Calling Tracy out for being out of the baseline, I assume.
So heads up play by Descalso to try to tag the runner. He runs out of the baseline and turns into a double play. Carlos Rivero now with 2 outs and nobody on. The guarantee from Joe Namath to win that championship. Let's take a look here.
See, Daniel comes in here, tries to seal it off. The runner goes around him, and our second base umpire ruled it out of the baseline.
Strike 1 to Rivero, hitting .219, no homers, and he's driven in 9 this spring. Last year, Washington hit 194 home runs as a team, second most in franchise history. And their everyday lineup, which is clearly not here today, is loaded for 2013.
They are an outstanding ball club. Cardinals feel they're an outstanding ball club.
0-2 pitch, and a second strikeout for Adam Wainwright. Cardinals on top, inning and a half in the books on Fox Sports Midwest. Attention teachers and parents of elementary and middle school students. Weather Plus Bash at Busch Stadium, April 10th. Join us at the ballpark. Fun and educational seminar. And tickets just $15. Pre-game presentation. Lunch is included. Cardinals.com/weather. One ball, one strike, and this is the catcher today, 8th place hitter Rob Johnson, followed by Wainwright and then John Jay. Two strikes on Johnson. He's hitting 200.
He's almost got about 4 years of major league experience. Seattle, San Diego, the Mets.
And it's a ground ball that's hit to short. One away.
Watch Rob Johnson, our catcher, ask for this delivery up. Want to go up the ladder on the hitter. Perfect pitch from Wainwright, and he gets his second strikeout in his first 2 innings.
Here's John Jay. Started the ball game off offensively for the Cardinals with his first home run this spring. And he looks at a strike. Wainwright, by the way, is scheduled to start the opener in Arizona. Mike Matheny did not want to have that cemented early on, and yet if you looked at the schedule and how it played out, works out perfectly for Wainwright to start that opener. That will be his third opening game assignment. First one was rained out in 2008 against Colorado.
No surprise there.
He is the leader of the pitching staff. 3 more spring training starts. That includes today for Adam Wainwright.
With the loss of Chris Carpenter, Berkman, Skip Schumacher, a lot of guys are vying for leadership roles.
It was a check swing, and he went. Strikeout of John Jay. And the second of the afternoon for Danny Herron. Is that one of those calls, Al, we're going to see in regular season play there? Or are we just trying to move the game along in spring training?
No problem with that. I like the one on the base pass a little better than bringing up a Cardinal hitter.
Here's Descalso. Slices one foul out of play. To follow up on the story we're talking about with Daniel, retooled his swing in the middle of the season. It's hard enough just to do that at any level of professional baseball, much less trying to do that in the middle of a major league season when the team is really counting on you. They're playing a lot of second, then was thrust into that shortstop role with Furcal's injury, and yet he provides 2 of the biggest hits in the postseason and really played well.
That's the nice thing. You know, last season, and particularly the first half, he even admitted he was lost, and he's not that poor of a hitter. He worked hard on it, and now he hasn't done anything to relinquish the second base job.
3-1 the count. Daniel last year overall at .227. Washington knows him well. Had the big home run in Game 5 of the division series. He started every game at second base in the postseason for the Cardinals. And Daniel is 2 for 2. It's another base hit up the middle. A 2-out single for Descalso.
Hanging in there a lot better. They're trying to concentrate on him, hit the ball to the opposite field or up the middle, stay on those pitches longer.
Matt Carpenter, base hit, run scored in the first inning. Matt Carpenter was one of the better pinch hitters the Cardinals had a year ago. 11 pinch hits. Nearly 15 RBIs as a pinch hitter. Appeared in 114 games all over the diamond. And his first full season in the big leagues, he hit .294.
But when you had Carpenter playing, there really wasn't anybody on that bench that the opposing manager feared.
That's one of the reasons why you go out and get a Ty Wigginton or maybe a Matt Adams makes this team.
Well, that's why they both could fit on this ball club. I've never been one that likes carrying a 13-man pitching staff.
Runner goes, taken for a ball, and the throw to second, not in time. Stolen base for Daniel Descalso.
Dan Herron, with his long delivery, gives base runners extra advantage. You can get a good jump right there, and you're stealing it off the pitcher.
It's ball 4 to Carpenter. First walk issued by Danny Herron, and it brings in Ty Wigginton. As recent as 2010, Ty Wigginton was an all-star. That was with the Baltimore Orioles, and as Al alluded to earlier, you're talking about a guy that gives you some power from this side of the plate off the bench. Wigginton bounces it left side. Force play at second, and the Cardinals will strand 2. They've stranded 3 on the afternoon. We played 2. 4-0 St. Louis. Ken Allgaier of Fox Sports Midwest and his staff, along with many of the front office personnel of the St. Louis Cardinals, those behind the scenes that make this go, in attendance today. Top clients have flown in from St. Louis. 1 pitch, 1 away for Adam Wainwright to start the 3rd. A reminder, the Bommarito Automotive Prep Zone has high school sports covered, streaming the Missouri Class 4 and 5 basketball semifinals on FoxSportsMidwest.com. And tomorrow we'll have the Show Me Showdown on Fox Sports Midwest Plus. Go to FoxSportsMidwest.com for the full schedule and a chance to watch your Vianney Griffins win state. That wasn't part of the copy, Al.
Yes, it was. Your copy.
I just threw that in there.
How about Mike Owens? People might remember him. He was a pitcher, but also did a lot of pinch hitting and home runs. Now he's given up the pitching, and Mike Owens is trying to make the ball club strictly as a hitter.
Anytime I think of that combination, I think of Brooks Kieschnick.
Yes, there was another one.
Played at Texas, I believe, and then we saw him with the Chicago Cubs. 1 ball and 1 strike on Micah Owings, who's had a very good spring. 368, pair of home runs, and 8 RBIs. And those home runs, the power that he had, we saw that on display against St. Louis a couple of times. A couple of back-breaking home runs a few years ago. Here's a 2-1 pitch. What is the mechanical flaw that Wainwright has corrected here in the last week or so?
Well, he just happened to be signing a fan's photograph. And it was an action shot, and he noticed that his stride was so much longer in the photograph. And then he went with Chad Blair in the video, went back and looked at his couple of years before the Tommy John surgery when he was one of the top pitchers in the game, and realized that he had this longer stride. So he worked on it before his last start, and it paid great dividends. He struck out 6 in 4 2/3 innings. He just dominated in that game, and everything just fell into place.
3-2 is a base hit left side. Micah Owings with the first base hit for Washington against Adam Wainwright today.
And if you think about it, Dan, if you're concentrating on that long stride, he's 6'7" to begin with. If you shorten that up a little bit, your arm's going to be dragging. So you're really never finishing your curveball. You're not doing your cutter. Anything you're throwing, you just don't have that little flip at the end. So you reach out, not only striding longer, but you reach out and you finish your pitches. And that's what gives you the life at the end of it.
A strike to Zach Walters, shortstop, hitting an even .300. 2 homers this spring, and he's driven in 4. Wainwright has had some fabulous years in St. Louis. Second in the Cy Young ballot, 2010 behind Roy Halladay. Third in 2009. A liner, and it's a double play. Caught by Descalso, a flip to Adams, and it's a double play. We're in the bottom of the third, and the Cardinals have a 4-run lead on the Washington Nationals. Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin back for another season, and so is Pat Paris. He'll be seen on our pre- and post-game coverage. And Pat joins us here, and always good to see you, Pat. You're looking very slick, I might add.
Well, thank you. Scott Rovac, the photographer with the Cardinals, is holding my white folder as to fill in a reflector so that in this great Florida sunshine, you can see me better.
Adams rounds out, and you were a busy man today. I got to camp early, and I look out there, and I see you sitting down with Mike Matheny. What did the Cardinal skipper have to say?
Well, obviously, year number 2 for Mike Matheny, and you can tell that things are a little less hectic the second time around. They've got the formula down. He said, it's not a cookie cutter from last year. We have things that we want to improve on. We want to do a little differently. But so far, he's been very pleased with exactly how they've been going through camp. And I think you're seeing a reflection of it now where they're starting to play a little better baseball. They're starting to get a little more consistency with the pitching. And they're starting to round into shape, which you'd expect, which is 2 weeks left here at spring training.
Here is Shane Robinson with one down, and nobody on. Robinson flying out to left his first time up. You know, Pat, there were some moves made today as the Cardinals informed some of the players that they had been assigned to minor league camp. One of those was Eduardo Sanchez. Got off to a good start in camp, but he's been sent to AAA. And the other one, and I know a lot of fans are curious about this. There was talk that maybe back in St. Louis, you know, the fan base gets excited when you see these young pitchers and players that have the chance to make an impression this year, maybe make the team out of spring. And Michael Wacha, I'm not sure he could have had any better of a spring. What did Mike have to say about Michael Wacha?
He said the exact same thing to me, Dan. He said you couldn't ask him to do anything more than he did. He did everything he needed to do to make an impression, coming off what was a very impressive end of season for him last year. Of course, he was just in college last year at this time, and now he makes an impression here for his first major league camp. And so I think that there's a great hope that we could see Michael Wacha sooner rather than later. But right now it's just a numbers game. And for him, going down and actually getting more of a AAA seasoning, AA, wherever they end up putting him, is something that will benefit him greatly. But I also talked to Red Schoendienst yesterday about Michael Wacha. And in fact, Red brought up Wacha, and he said, you know, I see a kid that could pitch in the majors right now. It's just there's not room for him right now.
Great competition in this camp of 2013, and here's Adrian Chambers.
What Wacha needs is innings, and you're not going to get that here as you're trying to get your varsity team going. So he can go down the minor leagues, and he can get into a rotation, get a lot of innings. That's the only thing he needs.
Chambers, with his speed, cannot beat out the bunt. Pat, we'll check in with you yet again. More to talk about. You're watching Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. Day here in Jupiter, Florida, and you can subscribe to MLB.TV Premium today and watch over 150 select spring training games live. Visit Cardinals.com for details. I'm Dan McLaughlin, Al Braboski, alongside Pat Paris down in the Cardinal dugout. And back to work goes Adam Wainwright. Cardinals leading 4-0 here in the fourth inning. Strike to Steve Lombardozzi, followed by Kurt Suzuki and Tyler Moore. Talked about it yesterday. The Cardinals, by many accounts and many publications, have the #1 rated farm system in baseball. And it's not just the pitching that we saw yesterday, but Pat, you take a look at a guy like Colton Wong, who seems to be the heir apparent at some point in his career at second base. How about the combination of Wong and Greg Garcia up the middle?
Well, they were college teammates at Hawaii, Dan, and they're inseparable. You see them together all the time, whether they're on the field turning double plays and practicing that here at spring training, or just going out to grab dinner. They room together here in Jupiter. during spring training, and they really are inseparable. And they've come up together. You know, they were drafted in 2011. Wong, of course, the first-round pick, and they really had a great time at Double-A Springfield last year, winning a championship and getting to really prove to everybody that they're up and coming, rising double play combination for the Cardinals. And I think they have the dream, and I talked to them yesterday, and you'll see it in our special preview that airs 1 week from tomorrow before the game here on Fox Sports Midwest. They talk about potentially someday being that double play combination for the Cardinals, and it's exciting for them, and you can see it.
You know, one of the things, Pat, is both these ball clubs are at the upper echelon at the big league level. And you mentioned the Cardinals with all their farm system. I was looking at one publication where it listed the top 100 prospects in all of baseball. Washington had 0 out of that 100. They're already in the big leagues. And the Cardinals had 4 in the top 30 and 6 in the top 76. So it's not only you got a championship caliber team right now, currently at the big league level, you got one coming.
Here's a ground ball that's hit to the left side. And Carpenter makes the play over to Matt Adams. Kurt Suzuki retired. He's 0 for 2. And it brings in Tyler Moores. So, Pat, before we let you go, how about any more thoughts? Anything caught you from what Mike Matheny had to say in your sit-down with him today?
Well, to follow up on what Dan said, to what Al said, Dan, to kind of wrap it all up, that Mike Matheny also noted that the great surprises and how great it was to see so many of these youngsters come here and make an impression in the first couple of weeks of spring training games, and how deep the system is. And he said it's creating competition. Sometimes we didn't know we were going to have competition, and that only makes you better as a team, makes you deeper as a team and deeper as an organization.
Great to see you again, Pat. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. That's Pat Paris. He'll be on our pre- and post-game coverage. 150 games, regular season HD on your home of the Cardinals, Fox Sports Midwest. What's on Tap is presented by Budweiser. On Sunday, will come your way at noon. St. Patrick's Day here from Jupiter, the Marlins and the Cardinals. That's at noon on Fox Sports Midwest. No telecast tomorrow. And Pete Kozma digs in for the second time. Kozma and the Cardinals with a lead of 4 runs. And he rips it down the left field line and hooks it foul. I think your point, Al, is so valid when you think about the fact the Cardinals have retooled a farm system while winning 2 world championships here since 06 and again in 11. And the point being is that when you win, you're drafting obviously down in order. And the Cardinals have made the most of those picks. For instance, Michael Wacha. And we will see Michael Wacha at some point this year.
Yes. There's no doubt in my mind, as long as he's healthy, we'll see him.
And he was picked up, a compensatory pick for losing Albert Pujols. And then on the flip side, we're talking about Washington. They had back-to-back 59-win campaigns. So this team was awful for a while. And yet, in those drafts, they pick up two once-in-a-generation type players in Bryce Harper and Steven Strasburg.
Exactly. I think the Cardinals rather do it their way. Have the very competitive team at the major league level. But it really is a strong endorsement for not only the scouting department, but the player development department. Everybody working together. Kids come into the rookie league ball, and they learn how to do the relays, the cutoffs, just like it is done here in the big league level.
Walk issued to Kozma. That's how we start play here in the bottom of 4. Now, Washington, we're not seeing their A team, obviously, today. We are seeing a guy that will be a part of their rotation. And this rotation should be very good. Steven Strasburg, no limitation on him. Gio Gonzalez, 21-game winner a year ago. Jordan Zimmerman, who the Cardinals really liked in the draft a few years ago, did not take him. Ross Detweiler, who's pitching in the World Baseball Classic. And then you see Danny Herron. So pretty good starting 5.
They have an outstanding bullpen. That, talking with Davey Johnson before the game, he was never consulted. He went to Africa in the offseason. He returned back home and found out that they acquired a guy named, their closer, and they got Soriano in his 42 saves last year for the Yankees.
1 ball, 1 strike on Rob Johnson. And remember, they have Drew Storen. And as you know, Al, you always hear the cliche, closers better have a short memory. And can Drew Storen forget his meltdown against the Cardinals last year? He entered the ball game, a chance to put them away, leading 7-5 in the decisive game number 5 of the division series. As Johnson, with the runner going, puts it in play. Tough throw, and out at first, heads up by Kozma to take the extra bag at third.
Well, I know if you were managing the Washington Nationals, Kozma wouldn't have got a chance to have that heroic hit. You would have given him 4. You would have walked him.
You know me too well, Al.
Yep. Running, he looks in here to see it, and then he waits till the third baseman fields the ball and throws it. He was so far in front of the bag, he knew the third baseman couldn't get back, and it was worth the gamble. The shortstop did come over to cover, but it was easily got into third base.
Infield is drawn in, 3rd time up for John Jay. Homer to start the game, and also struck out. Infield in, runner at 3rd, that's Pete Kozma. Cardinals up 4 runs. Danny Herron signs a 1-year deal, comes over from Anaheim. Last year he was 12-13. I don't know about you, I was surprised to look that this is Danny Herron's 12th major league season. As Jay skies one into right. What kind of arm does Tyler Moore have? Fires in from right field.
Not very good.
Easily is Pete Kozma. Heads up base running play by Kozma as he took 3rd, and John Jay drives him in. And that is John's 3rd RBI this spring and 2nd of the afternoon.
The one thing that Mike Matheny and John Mabry are working on, fundamentals, playing small ball. Cardinals had the great offense, but there were many a night it didn't show up. So there are times where Mike says, I can help out. I can put the running game on. Steal a few runs here and there.
Here's Daniel Descalso, pair of hits. 2 for 2 today. Looks at a breaking ball, spun in there for a strike. One thing that Danny Herron has been is a workhorse. Lots of innings piled up over the years. 3 times he led the league in starts thus far in his career, and he's averaged 220 innings since 2005. Only CC Sabathia has thrown more than this right-hander.
Last year has a hip problem. It's been kind of ongoing for many, many years. He's been able to pitch through it, but coming off that, basically a 500 season, figured he would sign for 1 year, then try and get the payday next year.
Strikeout for Heron. First time that Descalso has been retired. He's now 2 for 3. Heads up play here by Pete Kozma, the slow roller off the bat of Johnson. Kozma hustling all the way. He came around to score. It's added up to a 5-run lead. Adam Wainwright has been very effective today. He has struck out 2, only allowed 1 base hit. John Jay, first batter for St. Louis, goodbye. On his birthday, it's a home run. Moments later, Matt Adams with a 3-run shot. The Cardinals have added 1 more to that, and they lead it by the score of 5-0.
Last run, the Cardinals scored without the benefit of a hit.
Here's Chad Tracy. And he takes a ball low and away. Favorite pinch hitter for Davey Johnson a year ago. Tracy was 12 for 46 in this spot. Shift was on, charging on the play. Descalso from the outfield grass. And there's 1 away. A lot of talk here in spring training about Adam Wainwright. Contract year for him, and you see the shift on.
Second baseman playing short right field. Descalso races in, tries to get a true hop.
And it brings in Chris Marrero, 1 down and nobody on. But John Mozeliak was telling me that if the deal is not done with Adam by the time that spring training ends, very good chance he could hit free agency after the season, as Matt Adams is over with room, and yes, enough room to make the play. 2 down. April 12th, Cardinals will formally pay tribute and celebrate Stan the Man's life and legacy. All fans 16 and older receive a playable Stan Musial harmonica. This is a first-of-its-kind giveaway. That's April 12th. Limited amount of tickets, so get them now. Great giveaway to honor Stan the Man.
We saw that giveaway last night, and has a beautiful little box that the harmonica's in. Got the
Rivero, a fly ball out to center. Jay on the move and makes the catch. Little basket catch out there in center field for John Jay. Efficient inning for Wainwright. He's cruising. Cardinals up by 5. Roger Dean Stadium, packed house. The Nationals and the Cardinals, rematch of last year's 5-game thrilling division series. Matt Carpenter leads it off, followed by Ty Wigginton and Matt Adams. 5-run lead for St. Louis, home half of 5. Carpenter has singled and scored. That was back in the first, and also walked. Popped up to the left side and out of play. Marlins and Cardinals will hook up on Sunday at noon on Fox Sports Midwest. That'll be our next telecast. Cardinals will play Detroit tomorrow, so Jim Leyland in town with his defending American League champions.
Maya, the Cuban defector, warming up. He is scheduled to come in following Danny Herron. Nobody warming up for the Cardinals as Wainwright's thrown 5 shutout innings.
Here's a 2-2 pitch to Carpenter. Pops it foul out of play. Washington's rotation, second only to Tampa Bay's last year. Among all major league teams, opponents just hit .240 against the Washington Nationals. ERA was under 4. This day and age, Al, that's pretty darn good.
That is good.
Only the Phillies and the Brewers rotations had more strikeouts than Washington. And the only loss out of their rotation, Edwin Jackson. He signed a 4-year deal with the Chicago Cubs. Carpenter drives it into left center field. It's slicing. This ball will get down. Picked up at the track. And Carpenter takes a wide turn around second. He'll stop there. Leadoff double for the Cardinals as we start play here in the bottom of the 5th.
Remember last season they really wanted Matt Carpenter to start using his lower half, drive the ball, hit it to extra base power. He succeeded in doing this, and this is a good example. And this is a case where the wind blowing in right field really helped out, as they had center fielder kind of playing a little bit shading right field, and that ball gets down. So Carpenter stays through, a couple more hits. He's been on base all 3 times.
Ryan Jackson is the pinch runner at second base. We have a situation where you can move Descalso to third if they wanted to do that. Play Jackson at second base. Here's Ty Wigginton. The DH is 0 for 2. He came up with 1 out, 2 runners on, first and third. Back in the first, popped out, and is also grounded into a fielder's choice. One ball and 2 strikes on Ty Wigginton. Right-hander continues to throw for Washington in their pen. Very well could be the final inning of work for Danny Herron as Wigginton hits it out to left. And back to the bag is Jackson at second, 1 away. Sunday, April 14th, it's the Yadier Molina Rawlings Gold and Platinum Glove Awards in a ceremony that he'll take home that you see right there, and so will you. That's the giveaway on Sunday, April 14th. Find out more at Cardinals.com. Very good promotional schedule, especially in the first month of the season.
Chance to see that item. And once again, the quality of the giveaway items is amazing.
Cardinals have Carlos Beltran and Yadier Molina. Mitchell Boggs all playing tonight in the World Baseball Classic. Puerto Rico and Team USA in the winter advances.
You wonder if Boggs is happy with his decision to go. It's a great honor. But he's been gone nearly 2 weeks and has only thrown an inning and a third.
And that's the risk that you run with the World Baseball Classic. Adams lines it to first to throw to second. And back in safely is Jackson. Again, he hits the ball hard. He had a 3-run homer back in the first. Matter of fact, Al, David Johnson was a little upset over the fact that one of his young stars is Adams lines out here. Is not playing in the World Baseball Classic all that much. Yuri Perez, he's one of the top prospects for Washington. Ground ball hit to second. He's playing for the Dominican team and has only played a handful of innings, and they want to see him here in spring training. Cardinals strand a runner. We played 5, and St. Louis leads it 5-0. Big afternoon for that man you see pictured there, John Jay. Welcome back to Cardinals baseball, spring training 2013, and the Cardinals have a lead of 5 runs. Adam Wainwright is allowed just 1 base hit, and the birthday boy. Happy birthday to John Jay. How you doing, John?
Thanks, guys. What's going on?
Well, we're doing well. Nice birthday present to yourself with a home run. You came in hitting just a little bit over 200, but describe how spring training's been going for you.
It's been going great. You know, the batting average obviously isn't there, but oh man,
that's pretty talented.
No, the batting average isn't where I want it to be, but I've just been working hard on things every day, and that's what spring training is for. But I'm starting to feel better the last couple of days, and hopefully that can translate into the season. We got 2 weeks to go, and it'll be crunch time.
Who is throwing seeds at you?
I mean, the one and only Daniel Descalzo. I mean, who else would it be?
Will you tell him to stop, please?
He's gone. He's gone.
Thank you. John Jay is with us. I spoke to your mother yesterday, and she said she was coming up here to see you for your birthday. So she wanted me to pass along to you happy birthday. She also said that you have fallen in love with the city of St. Louis. And I would love you to talk about that and what it's meant for you to play for the Cardinals and, just basically the relationship that you've built up with the fans.
Yeah, well, first, thanks, Mom. Thanks for the shout-out. I love you. But, yeah, St. Louis is a place where, I've grown to love. And I didn't know much about the baseball tradition before. Coming from Miami, we didn't really have a big baseball tradition, but something that I've learned to love, learning about Stan and Red and just all the greats that have passed through and just trying to keep that tradition going and what baseball means to the city and what us as St. Louis Cardinals mean to the city. I mean, it's great. And, I'm looking forward to playing this season and hopefully many more there.
2 balls and 1 strike and a ground ball that's hit to the right side. That's Cedeno. And he puts it away. So take a look at what John Jay has done today. Our Schnucks difference maker, first batter of the game for St. Louis, knocks it out of the park. And we know about the great defense that John plays. Rarely a false step, always gets those good jumps and makes a play in left center field. You will be the leadoff man this year, John, and I'm assuming that's something that you welcome and that's what you want. Furcal is out, so we're going to assume that you will be primarily the leadoff man for the Cardinals.
Yeah, wherever my name's penciled in, I'll be there. But, I say our lineup's great. We have many interchangeable parts where, a lot of guys could hit leadoff. A lot of guys could hit, 4th, 5th, 6th. Our lineup goes deep, and that's something that helps us as an offense. So I'm just looking forward to getting the season going with this great teammates that we have. And, we have a lot of talent. We got to obviously stay healthy, but everything's starting to shade up, and our pitching's shaping up. I'm excited.
And, John, I like the aspect of you and some of the other younger players are wanting to assume more of a leadership role.
Definitely. It's something that us as players, we've been around. I'm going on my 4th season now. It's time for me to, step up and, just start helping the other guys out. I think the more leaders you have on the team, the better it is. And that's something I'm looking forward to. And I know the other guys are too. So, we're just looking forward to continuing to grow as baseball players and as a team and, starting this journey April 1st.
Anybody that's around John Jay, they know he loves his Miami Hurricanes. How about your basketball team? Are you following them?
Definitely. I left right before the game. They're up. So hopefully they can continue this run they're going on. And I've been going to those games for a long time, and to see them winning like that, it's great for the program.
John, you're supposed to be focusing on the diamond here, okay? Let's not watch the Hurricanes yet. We can watch that later. It's one out, runner at first, and at the plate is Rob Johnson. And that is off the glove of Adams and into right field. It's a base hit. Runner will advance from first base, so runners at the corners, and really the first time that Wainwright has had any issues here this afternoon. Now, hearing that, I'm not sure you can hear it at home. I'm assuming John Jay has just dropped the headset and said, that's it.
Hopefully it wasn't his glove.
I don't think we have to worry about that.
I was a little surprised he didn't get more consideration for a Gold Glove.
I agree.
But when you hear a thud like that and it's a glove, you wouldn't think that would be a good fielder.
So one out. Cardinals have turned 2 double plays today. Can they make it 3? Lombardozzi back to the top of the lineup for Washington, trailing by 5 runs.
Still with no one warming up. Wainwright's been very economical with his pitches. And let's see him pitch out of trouble.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Hit left side. Out at second. The wide throw to Cedeno. They'll only get 1, and a run will score. As Washington gets on the board, it's now 5-1. April 13th, Cardinals will wear the new alternate St. Louis jersey for the first time. 25,000 fans, 21 and older, will get their very own button-down replica, compliments of Lumiere. So get your tickets. It's Saturday, April 13th. Cardinals.com/promotions.
Wainwright got the ground ball he needed, but not a good throw to turn 2 at second.
And Suzuki hits it in the air at shallow right. Shane Robinson coming on, takes charge and makes the play. Midway through 6. St. Louis on top. It's 5-1. Baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Chevy. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer today. By Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Bommarito, where price sells cars. And by Plaza Tire, the quick change artist. Spring training of 2013 rolls on. The Cardinals and the Nationals. St. Louis leading the ball game by the score of 5-1. And a new right-hander is in for the Washington Nationals. This is Maya with an ERA of 2.57 this spring. 6 strikeouts in 7 innings of work. And he's walked 4 thus far.
Cuban defector, doesn't throw particularly hard. He was at AAA last season in the rotation for the Nationals.
Chambers is 0 for 2. He is struck out, also tried to bunt his way on back in the 3rd. Ground ball right side for the first out as Marrero takes it himself. Cardinals were 1 win away from the World Series a year ago. Down to their final strike 5 times in the 9th inning against Washington, and that historic comeback. They were down 6-0, won the game 9-7. Largest comeback in an elimination game in Cardinals franchise history. 6th consecutive win in a winner-take-all game. Greg Garcia, who Pat was talking about earlier, is hit by that pitch. Don't forget about StubHub all season long. Great place to find the seats you want and to see the Cardinals live in action. They've added StubHub fan rewards so you can earn a little extra with your tickets, like seat upgrades. Head to StubHub and get your Cardinals tickets today. Here's Rob Johnson. Twice he is grounded out. Garcia is the runner at first.
I was a free agent or 6-year minor league free agent and a catcher. I don't know if I'd pick the Cardinals, the team I'd try to.
Well, you're certainly not going to be a starter.
You're not going to be a starter. And Yachty, who plays nearly every day, you're not going to give much playing time. And really, I thought Tony Cruz did an outstanding job last year as the backup.
No balls and 2 strikes on Johnson, and a swing and a miss. Good breaking ball for the first strikeout for Maya. There's 2 down. First look at Justin Christian, who was playing independent baseball a couple of years ago back home in St. Louis, and was playing for our buddy Jack Clark.
Game-winning hit earlier this week.
He's had major league time, most recently with San Francisco and the Yankees, and did make an appearance for the Giants last year. So he has himself a World Series ring coming his way. Not bad for a guy that was playing independent ball 3 years ago. The Cardinals have been impressed. They say he's very smooth in center field, good athlete. The problem is right now is that he is buried because of the performance of Shane Robinson this spring. You would have to think that Shane undoubtedly has made this club with the numbers that he's put up. The fact that he can play all 3 outfield spots. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs, and there's a ground ball to the right side. We have played 6 here in Jupiter, Florida at Roger Dean Stadium. St. Louis on top. It's 5-1. Midwest teamed with baseball stars to bring spring training to U.S. troops based in Germany. But as it turned out, the troops gave Fox Sports Midwest girl Kayla and the rest of our baseball ambassadors a friendly taste of military-style boot camp. Fox Sports salutes the troops Sunday at 11:30 before the Cards and Marlins game this weekend. Fox Sports Midwest at 11:30. Not a very good spring statistically for Edward Mujica. Takes over for the Cardinals. Very good outing for Adam Wainwright. Mujica, though, knows his role. He'll be the 7th or 8th inning guy for the Cardinals. ERA of 15 this spring.
You know, my theory is...
So what on those numbers?
A lot of that. It's by design, because you want more work.
That's some theory.
If you go out and throw 3 pitches and you get out of the inning, you aren't getting enough work. So give up some hits, home runs. What's his ERA going to be on opening day?
Yeah, and he knows he's going to be a part of this team. Really solidified the bullpen a year ago for the Cardinals. They picked him up. He's been working on a few different pitches here in spring training. That's also one of the reasons why you see the high ERA. Jason Mott has been doing the same thing, and we expect Mott to throw in this game at some point. Lefty right now getting loose for the Cardinals, along with the right-hander in the pen. J.R. Tolles is part of the new battery for the Cardinals. He's taken over behind the plate. It's Salas, who's rejoined the club after the World Baseball Classic. And Randy Choate signed a 3-year deal with the club, left-hander in the offseason. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Tyler Moore. Out in front, pops it up left side. Near the Washington bullpen and out of play.
Affeldt might have been my first choice as a left-handed reliever, but he re-signed for mega dollars with the Giants. And then the next best person in my mind was Randy Choate. Really, truly a left-handed specialist. Kept left-handers to about a 158 average.
Here's a 2-2. Ideally, it's Mujica in the 7th, Mitchell Boggs in the 8th, and then your closer, Jason Mott. He had 42 saves a year ago in the 9th. That trio really the backbone of the bullpen a year ago.
Trade deadline, Mujica came to the Cardinals. You know, nobody paid attention to that deal. But that was the missing piece.
There's a strikeout for Mujica. Underway here in the top of the 7th. This is game number 2 of 10 spring training telecast on Fox Sports Midwest. Next broadcast will be Sunday at 3 against the Marlins.
Threw the ball by Moore, and I probably haven't given enough credit for Adam Wainwright. Goes 6 innings. I believe that's the most by any Cardinal starter this year.
We have 2 more starts and then the opening day start against Arizona. Mike Matheny making the announcement officially that he would be the opening day starter the regular season. Chad Tracy is up. That means the shift is on. Third plate appearance for Chad. He taps it foul. Most effective pitch for Mujica is the split finger, and he's working on some of those other secondary pitches to go along with that.
If you're in the bullpen, you really don't need 3-4 pitches. What you need is at least one good one, preferably 2.
You know, we're talking about Cardinals farm system and some of the names that we gave you, and think about some of the names that they drafted that have turned into trade prospects and how that has turned out for other teams. For instance, Zach Cox, thought of very highly by the Cardinals a year ago, and he turns into the trade of Edward Mujica. Helped the Cardinals stabilize their bullpen. Know about Brett Wallace, that turned into a key component of the Matt Holliday deal. The importance of homegrown players, and the Cardinals have done that. 2-2 pitch.
Remember when Walt Jocketty and Tony La Russa first came to the Cardinals? They used the minor leagues to develop their major league talent. They traded all their prospects and got major league ready talent. You can only do that so long, and then you deplete your farm system.
2 strikeouts for Mojica.
So now the Cardinals had to rebuild their farm system, rebuild it to such fine fashion that it's rated as #1 by many sources. And they still maintain the high level at the major league level. So great scouting, paying off.
Chris Marrero. A slider and a strike from Edward Mojica. Popped up to the right side. And that's out of play. Near that familiar number 39. Bullpen catcher Jamie Pope. I know another guy that wore 39. And he's now coaching with the Chicago Cubs. I also know another guy that wore 39. Former Fireman of the Year, my partner Al Raboski. 1-2 pitch, chopped left side, tough play here. And no, they're going to say he's safe. Ryan Jackson, noticed for his defense, the minor leagues, and in particular his glove work at shortstop, made this close.
Do or die play, the high bounce, come in here, you got a barehanded throw on the run, got something behind the throw, and bang, bang, nearly pulled off the outstanding play.
Thought this was spring training.
Supposed to ring him up, right?
Out. 2 down and runner at first for Carlos Rivero. No balls and 1 strike. The third baseman Rivero, runner at first. 0-2. Nasty pitch there by Mojica.
Oh, you can see this is our first time seeing Mojica, but the numbers weren't good, but we really weren't worried about him. And what we're seeing right now is what we saw last season when he was shutting down the 7th inning.
Boggs, the league leader in holds. What an outstanding season he had.
Before the trade deadline, the Cardinals had trouble getting the game from the starter to Mitchell Boggs in the 8th. Well, he came aboard, and I know you're right, just at 1.
There's a strikeout, and he strikes out the side. Time to stretch, spring training, and when you walk through the clubhouse and right before you step into the clubhouse in St. Louis, you see the plaque of George Kissel, one of the all-time greats. 2013 from Jupiter, Florida at Roger Dean Stadium. Very impressive start by Adam Wainwright today. Cardinals lead it by the score of 5-1. Here's Ronnie Cedeno. Ronnie with a home run, 5 RBIs, and hitting .240 this spring. With the injury to Rafael Furcal, by the way, he did have surgery this past week, and everything went according to plan. As Matthews is into the game, his 7th appearance this spring. But because of the Furcal injury, Cedeno, it's opened up a door potentially for him to make this club.
I don't think he's made it.
It's a numbers game now, and he could be on the outside looking in. The question you have to ask yourself is, do you feel comfortable with Descalso potentially being your backup shortstop, which that would be the case if Ronnie does not make the club.
And it could work against some of the young Cardinal players because they have player options where you would assume that Cedeno does not. And if you knew one of the young kids in from the Cardinal farm system was okay, you'd keep him. But
here's a 3-2. Little chopper, very tough play here. Cedeno will beat it out. A base hit for Ronnie Cedeno.
Pitchers have to deal with the wind. Now it seems like it's very hard in front of home plate. A couple balls that hit there and then bounce very high, and almost a do or die play for the young shortstop. Ryan Jackson went into pinch run when Carpenter got his double back in the 5th inning, get his first plate appearance.
Mentioned earlier, Al, the Cardinals have been very impressed with the glove work of Ryan Jackson. He was called up in a series last year against the Phillies. You may remember on a Friday night he made a start, and in that game he was playing second base.
Yeah, it was hard to believe because Kozma was the second baseman. Jackson was a shortstop at AAA. Jackson comes up and he plays second.
Guides this into right, slicing, and that is fair. Near the Cardinal bullpen. Cedeno held up at third, and Ryan Jackson has a double. And a chance for Ty Wigington.
Let's see if this ball is out away from him. It is. A little slider, but it stayed up. Kind of guided that ball to right field. Foot inside. He ends up with the double. And Wigington, who hit the ball hard last time up, really needs something. He needs a break right here, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Had a chance early in the game to do some damage. Couldn't come through.
His track record is he's really not been much of a bench player. Doesn't really have a lot of success as a pinch hitter. But I think a lot of that had to do with he was playing mostly an everyday player. And now is just changing the mindset. And you really have an advantage having an opportunity to talk to Mabry about coming off the bench.
Tardy on that swing. Last year, leading the club in pinch hit at bats was Shane Robinson. He had 48 a year ago.
At bats.
Correct.
Also led the club, I think, in hits.
With 11.
Pinch hit hits, but as I said, you didn't ever fear Robinson back there. Now he's swinging the bat with a little better power.
1-2 the count on Wigington. I'm sure right now he feels like every count is 0-2, 1-2. Trying to impress a new team, even though he's been around Major League Baseball, number of clubs for a long time, but still, new team, you want to impress your teammates.
Yeah, he's a couple days away from having a 10-year Major League career. But a new ball club, and you have to show him you can still do it.
Here's a 1-2. Strikes out.
Good pitch right there, up and in, tied him up.
So Wigginton is 0 for 4 on the day. He stranded 7.
This is Patrick Wisdom. He's a young third baseman. I just saw the strikeout to Wigginton.
They also have Piscotti. They like him, too. He's a third baseman. Ground ball to second. And Cedeno is in a rundown. They'll tag him out. Wisdom on his way to second and safe. Barely.
Wow.
Patrick Wisdom, third of 3 third basemen from the 2012 draft.
They like him, and they've already moved past
Piscotti.
They moved him to right field now.
He's 6'2", 215 pounds as Cedeno was in that rundown.
That was perfect by Suzuki. Just showing the ball, keep on running, close the gap, and eventually tag him, and probably should have gotten the double play.
So 2 outs, runners at second and third. Here's Shane Robinson. Cardinals on top by the score of 5-1. Randy Choate throwing in the bullpen. A little bit more on Patrick Wisdom, the third baseman. Best power of that group that was drafted a year ago. Hit .282, 6 homers, 32 at low A year ago. Considered one of the top 10 prospects that the Cardinals have. He stands at second base. Ryan Jackson at third. And a 1-0 pitch to Robinson. In on his hands. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals, Al, have another one of our former colleagues now coaching in the organization. That's Jason Simon-Tachi. Simon-Tachi, the former Cardinal right-handed pitcher, is going to be the pitching coach at Peoria. And also on that staff is Eric Pappas. You may remember Eric.
I saw both of them today.
Former catcher in the Cardinals organization. He's the hitting coach. Works with the catchers, obviously.
Look just the same. Still had that dark hair. And Simo is, I think he's really looking forward to that. I think he'll do a good job.
Told me today he's absolutely loving it. As Robinson swings and misses, and the Nationals get out of a jam. We played 7 here in Jupiter. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. I want to tell you and remind you about April 12th. The Cardinals formally pay tribute to Stan the Man. Celebrate his life, his legacy. All fans 16 and older receive a playable Stan Musial harmonica. Stan the Man Night. You don't want to miss it. April 12th. And that'll be at Busch Stadium when the Cardinals take on the Milwaukee Brewers. And there are giveaways all weekend long, that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against Milwaukee. Second lefty in the Cardinals bullpen this year, along with Mark Sepchinski, is Randy Choate. And this will be his 8th appearance. Well-traveled Randy Choate signs a 3-year deal to sign on with St. Louis.
Left-handed specialist, drops down, very tough on left-handed batters. You know how savvy I am with social media. Our newest pre- and post-game analyst has just texted me that he's watching our game back in California.
Here we go with you and Edmonds and texting. Choate will work from the stretch. He is from the state of Texas. He played baseball collegiately at Florida State. Actually was a teammate of J.D. Drew's.
Oh, Jim would like to face a lefty that drops down like this.
His numbers against lefties, sensational. They're hitting under 200 against him since 2010. Since the year of 2000, he has allowed a total of 7 home runs against lefties. 7 total. And you figure guys like Joey Votto, Jay Bruce, you're going to see a lot of each other the next 3 years.
He's really the left-handed specialist because he's so effective against the left-handers, but because of his release point, right-hand hitters crushing.
He did something this offseason. I know a lot of the fans took note, the media took note. The writers' dinner in St. Louis, and many of those writers' dinners are going away. New York still has theirs, obviously, in St. Louis. And Randy Choate went to the Cardinals and said, I'd really like a ticket. I'd like to go. I want to be around my new teammates before I get to spring training, get a chance to know them. He said, I understand the history of this organization and how long that history is. Looking to become a part of the community, so Randy made sure he was a part of that writers' dinner during that baseball weekend. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Choate will tell you that he's got a slider. What he likes to do, though, more than anything, is throw that 2-seamer, sinking action in on the hands of a lefty, trying to get ground balls. And he'll show that slider. There's a ground ball. And that's a base hit. Past Cedeno. So Brown is aboard to start the top of the 8th.
Now watch how he drops down, and if you're imagine yourself in the batter's box, you're a left-handed hitter, and drops down like that, it looks like he releases the ball completely behind your back. We mentioned that he's a left-handed specialist, so a right-hander's due up. We go to the bullpen.
Got the ground ball, but under the glove of Cedeno, so leadoff base hit. Cardinals have a lead of 5-1. We're in the 8th. Spring training baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. takes over for the Cardinals. His 5th appearance this spring. He was part of the World Baseball Classic and now has rejoined the club. Ground ball left side. That's fair. Jackson, long throw. Across the diamond and makes the play.
Very nice play by Ryan Jackson. I know he can play shortstop, second base. Now he's adding third base to that play. And he got a tough hop right over the bag and really stretches out. See, he feels it in foul territory and has the arm strength to throw him out at the other end.
Here's Zach Walters with a runner at second base. Can't say enough about the outing of Adam Wainwright today, as efficient as anybody we've seen this spring.
Look good. So that's back-to-back starts that he's been able to really put things together. I think, you know, his first start this year, he'll probably be physically much better than all of his starts a year ago.
Another year removed from surgery. Here's a fly ball into center.
Dan, if you think about it, most people say a Tommy John is usually, for a pitcher, 18 to 24 months. Adam, because of he had it in spring training of 2011, he was pitching at the major league level in month 13. So now he's really at that 24-month period now. So he should be much better. Found that little mechanical flaw, lengthened his stride, and it's paid dividends. So I think he's just going to start building a lot more confidence in his ability.
2 outs, runner at second. Pitch taken high by Rick Haig. Another one of the minor leaguers that has made the trip for Washington. Detroit here tomorrow. We are not on the air on television, be carried on radio. Little bloop into right center. Christian is there and puts it away. Nice work by Fernando Salas. Midway through 8, St. Louis leads at 5-1. Can be a part of Cardinals history Saturday, April 13th. The team will wear the new alternate St. Louis jersey for the first time, and 25,000 fans 21 and older get their very own full button-down replica jersey, compliments of Lumiere Place. That's that Saturday night game, April 13th, and you can get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. This is the lefty Abad. Remember, they had Sean Burnett. Abad is former Houston Astro. We saw him in the Central Division last couple of years. Sean Burnett was a lefty specialist for them. He signed with the Angels in the offseason. And thus far this spring, 2-0 in 5 2/3 for Abad.
I find it very curious that Davey Johnson said that he was not aware that ball club was going to go out and acquire Yankees closer last year. And he, you know, his first choice would have been to keep the two lefties.
Interesting. Soriano was a guy that was blowing people away in the American League East. He took over for Mariano Rivera, had been a closer with Tampa Bay.
He had 42 saves last year for the Yankees. And with Mariano Rivera coming back, he was, you know, expendable.
Here's Greg Garcia, the aforementioned teammate of Colton Wong's while at the University of Hawaii, and both now playing with the St. Louis Cardinals. It's only a matter of time, by the way, with Colton Wong. Defensively, Alan, watching him, he seems to be a guy that is ready to play at this level. They'd love to see him get more seasoning offensively.
Well, you think about Taveras and Wong, neither one of them have had one at bat at AAA. So you're really doing those young guys a disservice. Get them ready. They'll have their major league playing time. And McLemore at first base, and Cardinal speedster.
Here's the thing too, with Taveras made that game-saving catch after he dropped one yesterday. When he arrives in St. Louis, not a question of if, but when, he's there to stay. I mean, they're not going to be shipping him back and forth down I-55 to Memphis. He is there to stay. Where Wong, it might be a situation where if he had issues defensively at second base, whatever the case may be, he struggles, he goes back and forth. But Taveras is there to stay.
He'll be there to stay, and it would take a Bobby Bonilla type injury.
McLemore is picked off by Abad for the first out here in the bottom of the 8th.
But remember how Albert Pujols, he made the club only because Bobby Bonilla got hurt. And then he could play enough to where it justified to keep a young player up at the big league level.
0-2 the count on Garcia. So 2 lefties in their pen a year ago for Washington. Such a great season on many fronts for the Nationals. Debut of Bryce Harper. First division championship. First playoff appearance in Washington in decades.
30s.
Davey Johnson was the manager of the year, as you see Mott getting loose. But their season, you think about it, Al, was probably remembered for shutting down Steven Strasburg and then the meltdown against the Cardinals. But all could be forgotten if you win this year.
Davey Johnson, like you say, I'm saying World Series or bust. They did win 98 games last year. And this year his kind of motto is we're going to dominate.
And they very well could.
I had somebody tell me that Bryce Harper has gained like 30 pounds of muscle.
Remember, he was only 19, so he's still growing into his body.
Right.
Davey Johnson had Dwight Gooden when he was an all-star, and at that age, Harper did it at the age of 19. Doc Kay did it. The other young phenom, Mike Trout, with Anaheim, and then they add Josh Hamilton to a loaded lineup that features Albert Pujols. We'll see Anaheim this year. We'll be there for interleague play.
Yes, we will. First time the Cardinals will ever go to Anaheim.
After all these years, we still have not been to Anaheim. Texas will come to St. Louis. Return of Lance Berkman. Now that contract really raised a lot of eyebrows around Major League Baseball, with Berkman knowing his injury history and knowing what he dealt with at the end of last year, and still got a tremendous deal.
11 million?
12, I believe.
12.
Yeah. Here's J.R. Tolles. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Tolles pops one out to left. And on the run, the catch is made. So we jump ahead to the 9th inning. The St. Louis Cardinals with a lead at 5-1. Very nice crowd, sold out today here in Jupiter, Florida at Roger Dean Stadium. And it's our Budweiser player of the game. This crowd was treated to an outstanding performance from pitcher Adam Wainwright. 6 innings, 3 hits, gave up 1 run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Adam Wainwright, Budweiser player of the game. And here's the Cardinals closer, Jason Mott, who led the league in saves a year ago with 42. This spring, an ERA that's closer to 8. But he said he's been working on some secondary pitches, and we know then the games count. They're for real. It's on the line. You can count on Jason Mott. Very good season a year ago.
For guys like Jason Mott that are primarily a fireballer.
Broken bat, couple of hops off his glove, 2 second, 1 away.
They usually do struggle in spring training.
Why do you say that?
It just takes a while for you to build up your power pitches. And remember a couple of years ago when he was the Cardinal closer and first start of the year, the Pirates jumped all over him. You know, that's going to happen sometimes to a guy that's primarily a fastball pitcher. And he was back then. Now he's incorporated a couple secondary pitches. But when the weather gets warm, so is their fastball.
96 on the gun there from Mott. Caleb Ramsey, the left fielder, made the running catch just moments ago, is at the plate. There's that off-speed pitch. Congratulations to Jason and his wife, Caitlin. Welcomed their first child, daughter Margaret Morgan. This offseason, also Jason signed a 2-year extension. Very durable over the last handful of years for St. Louis. Righty and lefty getting loose right now for the Cardinals.
Jason's had 270 appearances over the last 4 seasons. Led all major league pitchers.
Tough play. Off the heel of the glove. Mott is there, and they're going to say he's safe. Ramsey beat it out.
Today might have been doing that PFP.
Pitchers fielding practice, PFP.
Gets over here. We'll see if he gets to the bag. Yeah, he got all over it. Designed to run that way to the bag and then try and get there as quick as you can, turn around and act like a first baseman. But
so runner at first with one out as we play here in the ninth. Cardinals leading by the score of 5-1. Carlos Maldonado is the pinch hitter for Washington. Nationals favored to win the National League East. We saw Atlanta retooled with their outfield. Also have the Phillies with that veteran pitching staff. Charlie Manuel came out today and said he wants to manage beyond this season. He's 69 years of age. Ryan Sandberg would be the one that most likely you'd have to say internally in their position of some of those managers that could take over at some point.
Yeah, Rhino left the Cubs when he didn't get the job a couple years ago and went to the Phillies to be the AAA manager.
And we forget that Sandberg began his professional career with the Phillies.
Yes.
3-1 the count.
I was trying to figure out who was going to take over here when Davey Johnson retires. Probably would be an internal candidate.
You know, we've been on the air now yesterday and again today, and yet to mention the name of Kyle Loesch, who still is unsigned.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
Really is. There was some talk that maybe the Nationals would be interested in Kyle Loesch. Mike Rizzo, the general manager, has a very good relationship with Scott Boras. Two of his best clients are Strasburg and Harper. They did re-sign Adam LaRoche. Many thought he was affected by the new free agency system, where the club can make that qualifying offer. If he doesn't sign, he's a free agent, and then you get that club's, whoever signs that particular free agent, you get their first-round pick.
Yeah, but LaRoche re-signed with the Washington.
Correct.
Gold Glove, had a big offensive year for them, and re-signs with his club.
And the reason why I say it affected him, if that wasn't in place, there are some around baseball that believe that he would have signed for a lot more. Got a good deal to come back, but potentially could have been a lot more. Washington added Denard Span. He'll be in their outfield.
Outstanding center fielder.
Davey Johnson, all those years with the Mets, is their skipper. Here's a high chopper off the plate. Shortstop wants it. That's Garcia. That was so high he had to call off his third baseman. Greg Garcia. Club is very high on him and his glove.
And have a nice little team at AAA, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Matt Gifford also texts me. He's the general manager at Springfield. And they should have an outstanding team, too.
Carlos Rivera, the third baseman for Washington. Their final hope with runners at second and third. Pitch at 98 on the gun from Mott. 2 years ago, appeared in 78 games, did Jason Mott. Such a durable arm, and you start getting there in that 80 appearance mark, usually that's for a lefty, not a power-throwing righty.
Exactly. One of the things about Jason Mott is, you know, he can dominate all hitters, but that was 100 miles an hour on that. We don't usually say, we say 98 with Jason Mott, but rarely do we say 100. And that last pitch was. But Jason also led all major league pitchers with a 122 batting average against left-handed batters.
The 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals trying to make it 2 wins in a row, and that's the second consecutive 100-mile-an-hour pitch from Mott.
Usually a hitter will tell you how good the fastball is.
Here's a 1-2. Popped up, and this should do it. Ronnie Cedeno under it and puts it away. The Cardinals win it by the score of 5-1. Wainwright impressive this afternoon, and the Cardinals have won 2 in a row. Brief timeout. Back to wrap it up in just a moment. Cardinals winners today, 5-1.